Can you talk about the benefits of hemp? We hear a lot about the oil and the seeds. What are some of the potential benefits of what sounds like a very versatile plant?
Well, this whole thing with hemp and cannabis, medical marijuana, and there's a distinction made within the hemp industry between hemp, industrial hemp, versus medical marijuana, because industrial hemp is low or no THC cannabis. THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, is the primary psychoactive compound in marijuana that gives people the high, which is for hundreds of years or thousands of years the reason people have used marijuana for recreational purposes, etc., for its psychoactive purposes. There's another compound, cannabidiol, CBD, which is known for a number of its other medicinal properties that has nothing to do with the THC. The THC, the low or no THC hemp, is what's been grown for centuries as a fiber crop. Canvas that we get that for the Conestoga wagons that went west and ship sales, canvas is a corruption of the word cannabis. So the whole word cannabis comes from cannabis, which is like, in this case, hemp, low grade or no THC marijuana, basically. Paper and parchment, and supposedly the Declaration of Independence is written on hemp paper. Hemp seed oil contains omega-3 fatty acids and proteins. It's a highly nutritional oil and highly nutritional product, the hemp seed. And it's now become available not only in the health food market, where it's been for the last 8 or 10 years, but now it's spilling over to the mass market. So we're going to see more and more hemp-based foods, which ironically and just almost ridiculously are still not allowed to be grown in North America until so the hemp seed, which comes in for bird seed, and hemp oils, all these things are being grown in Canada, not in the United States. Now, there are, like in California and now Colorado and Washington State, where, and other states where medical marijuana or medical cannabis is being sold, which is different from your industrial hemp that's used for food and other purposes. Now we're talking about the medicinal marijuana. And for types, this is being generated by consumer demand. It certainly isn't being generated by political leaders who want to do what they think is in the best interest of the community or the public health. This is a consumer-driven, demand-based phenomenon over the last 10, 20 years. And now we see, now we're talking in January 2014, I believe there's now 21 states that have approved medicinal cannabis, 2 states that have approved it recreationally of those 21, and I think it's on the cusp of being passed in a number of other states, and this thing is now really moving to a point where it's the 100th monkey syndrome. Within a matter of, I think, a few years, we're going to see more and more states falling in line. Now, the American Herbal Pharmacopoeia, an independent nonprofit organization led by my friend and colleague Roy Upton, has come out with the first cannabis monograph on standards on cannabis with laboratory analytical methods for the cannabis, the emerging and the exploding cannabis industry to utilize in helping to check for the different kinds of laboratory tests that might be required and to check for impurities and for contaminants and all that kind of stuff. So now there's a whole monograph. It's not officially sanctioned. It's not from the United States Pharmacopoeia. I think that's a matter of time. But cannabis monograph, and this is just on a quality control monograph. They're going to do a second monograph on the therapeutics, which looks at all the different clinical studies and all the pharmacology that shows the clinical benefits or suggests the clinical benefits of various types of medicinal cannabis. In the meantime, it's exploding in some of these states where it's legal. There's all kinds of foods now that are coming out with cannabis in them, so it's not about smoking it anymore. It's about ingesting it. And I think this is going to be not only a huge business opportunity. I mean, from an investment perspective, there's going to be it's going to be a boom and bust kind of thing. It's going to be, some companies are going to make it, some companies are going to get condense and consolidate. It's like when the computer industry or the car industry or any other nascent industry evolves, there's a certain amount of proliferation, and there's all these companies racing to fill in the void, and all of a sudden you're going to see some consolidation, which is, I think, a typical dynamic you see in any emerging and sophisticating and maturing market. So this is a very big area to watch, and I'm seeing more and more. I believe that cartoons are mirrors of the culture. It's here at the Scripps conference where we're talking. I do an annual cartoon show in addition to my straight speech on just what's going on with research and regulation and trends in the market and in the herbal market and in the industry. I do a cartoon show on what is going on with health, medicine, dietary supplements, lifestyle, alternative medicine, pharmaceutical drugs, as seen through the cartoons in the previous year. And it's a big hit at the end of the day, on the first day here of the conferences here for this medical conference, where there's 300 and some odd doctors and other medical people here at Scripps conference. This is the 11th year that they've had this conference. And for the last 7 or 8 years, I've been doing this year in review as seen through the cartoons. And this year, I had a section on pot, because even though pot is not sold as a dietary supplement, someday it might be. I mean, the way things are moving, it's possible. And so even if it's not available legally in many states where a lot of these physicians are, they need to see, at least at the cartoon papers, the funny papers, the stuff that our kids are reading, have themes cartoons that are themed on medical marijuana and related kind of issues. This is a cultural shift that's going on. It's seismic in its implications, because this is a major cultural shift. There was one Doonesbury cartoon that I showed where Zonker Harris, who was the stoner guy in Doonesbury for the last 25 or 30 years, how long that's been around, was talking to his buddy and saying, he had his field of dreams that he was going to have this field of medicinal pot that he's going to grow, medicinal cannabis, and he said, the same government that jailed me for possession a number of years ago is going to be paying me subsidies to grow this stuff. So there's a big shift going on here.